Peasant Productions presents the math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe. Kind of have to throw some stuff in here. I was talking about the use of space shuttle and how carbon fiber could just be blown into a titanium wire frame. I kind of left out a little piece of the step here just so you mechanical engineers and design people and shuttle engineers and stuff like that understand. Ceramic starts out as a fluid. It is then put into a mold, and then after that it is baked. Carbon fiber is put into a mold, into a shape, and then it is baked. So if you start with a titanium wire frame and you have this outside, I mean, in the old days with boats, we used to use plywood and stuff just to make that outer shell to contain stuff. Metallurgy and stuff. When you're casting pieces of metal, you use sand. Okay. As I say, you have this outer casing. You have a titanium wire frame that is put inside of it before all the rest is done. You're blowing inside of that the ceramic layer, then you let it dry, which is going to take maybe 24 hours or so. Then you blow your several inches of carbon fiber, which just so you people understand something. A Formula One and an Indy car have a carbon fiber tub for the driver himself. Those cars routinely hit walls at upwards of 200 miles an hour, and the driver simply gets up, shakes himself off from the impact, and walks away. Yes, sometimes they're hurt. The majority of times they walk away. So carbon fiber is extremely strong. If you have several inches of carbon fiber on the inside of this that you're putting lead, what do you keep saying barium? I don't know. There's a couple other chemical or physical properties that you can put into the carbon fiber substance to create that shielding to keep most of the radiation on the outside of your ship. Okay, so you then have the carbon fiber, you have the outside ceramic, and you have this titanium frame all as one piece. You've put in tubes so that all of your wires and all of your conduits and stuff like that you need to have for rudders, ailerons, wheels, push buttons, cockpit controls, the bay doors, anything like that. Okay, just like any house does, any skyscraper does. Okay, you just put the stuff in there to run it wherever you want to. You take that whole unit, you stick it into an oven. It's very easy to build a big oven like that. You cook it, then you take it immediately from there, and it just like good old, Henry Ford, production line system here. You simply take that whole thing, move it into the cooling house, where it goes the whole thing, ceramic and carbon fiber together, as a single unit, cool down and become extremely strong, and you have a single shield of your high temperature ceramic around the outside. If you have little squares like this called tiles on a space shuttle, what happened? They crack out, they break, the glue gets bad, somebody did a bad job gluing. Okay, and think about that. If it takes 10,000 tiles to cover a space shuttle, that's 10,000 points where human error can be. If you have a single unit that is all one thing, all built and baked together, you have only one area you have to look at, basically, for any kind of flaw. You might have to x-ray the whole thing to make sure there wasn't an air bubble somewhere, as it's passing on over to the baking stage. But you don't waste bunches of time building in sophisticated obsolescence because you know the tiles will fail, they have to be replaced fairly often, and all of that, because you have no place for an air gap when the whole entire shuttle is one single piece of ceramic. Okay? So that's why I say this is illogical, this is illogical when it's looked at from the perspective the government's put out. Governments cannot let you go into space because it's freedom. Okay? Governments didn't want you to think about all of this, so they told you not to pay attention to it. Oh, it doesn't matter. We're only human beings. We can't affect anything because we're little human beings. You're 7 billion strong. Rabbits, mice, cockroaches. Go down the list. How many times do you humans go and wipe out something that's infesting when you're doing the same thing? You're infesting, because that infestation, bark beetles, Northern California, Western United States, bark beetle infestation, billions of dollars of damage to the logging industry. Yeah, it was all there because the United States basically planted, I think there was a total of maybe 3 different trees, but most of it was white pine, which is what the bark beetle loves. And it just jumped from tree to tree to tree. As the CCC in the 1930s and 1940s, it was the CCCs did an awful lot of replanting of the forest and stuff. And yeah, they just went in, oh, we're just going to put these 1 or 2 trees in because this is what, the logging industry wants, and this is what we're going to sell to the people and stuff like that. So there is extreme amounts of illogic in thinking that you cannot do what I'm saying because it doesn't produce enough profit at the other end. We're not talking about profits here, folks. We're talking about survivability of a absolutely planet-wide catastrophic event. You need to be producing 1 shuttle per month per country now. You don't have any time to wait on this. What is going on around you on this planet? You are having massive storms that you don't have any ability to do anything about. The temperatures based on SO2 action is something that humans don't have any way of doing anything about. Do you have any way to go out there and give your planet an antacid and knock out SO2? No. You run around saying, oh, CO2, carbon dioxide, which we use every day for dry ice, which is just simply frozen CO2. We use it in carbonated drinks like soda pop that they sell everywhere. Think of how much CO2 you could save if you just stopped making soda pop. Or maybe the opposite. Think of how much CO2 you could capture if you just made billions of gallons of soda pop all the time. Yeah. Even just soda water, right? Yeah. So that's why I say, you are in the warfare, the government church routine that says only their belief is allowed to be looked at, and only their belief is allowed to be right. Okay? It's kind of like the way Christians, Catholics, I just had a couple of Jehovah's Witnesses out there. I sat there showing them the passage in the Bible, Christ's words in red, nobody can change it. And the woman laughed at me, and I looked at her and said, do you tell your God what? Do you control your God? And she's like, oh, no. Then what are you doing, lady? Yeah, she was laughing in my face because she didn't believe in the philosophies, and she was laughing at her own Bible. Well, actually, no, Jehovah's wrote their own Bible so they could have polygamy. You stop and think about that sometime. Okay? If you are open-minded, you accept stuff and you challenge it and you look at it. If you are a scientist, you might only want to do one thing. It's like a guy that got ranting and raving at me that I didn't know what built-in obsolescence of product was. And he finally says, oh, I'm a CNC mechanic and I know everything. CNC, and I went to the most prestigious college or university in America. So he went to a prestigious place and he's only studied one thing. compared to me. I've worked in 9 fields of human employment. I have collected pay in over 60 different job titles, which means my job experience alone is 60 times that person's. He has 1 job title. He has worked 1 job title all of his life. He only knows 1 point of view. I would list 15, 20 items, and he would always go back to, oh, you're talking about t-shirts wearing out like they're supposed to last forever. No, I pointed out to him that I was a screen printer. I used quality product. My t-shirts lasted a long time, and my competitors were running down the road buying the cheap t-shirts that are sizing is put into them by the manufacturer, so that you have this large t-shirt, you throw it in the wash, it comes out as a medium. The next time it comes out, it's a small. That is designed in obsolescence. But because this guy has only 1 background, 1 idea, 1 philosophy, he could not accept the fact that the difference between a high quality shirt that'll last you for years and a piece of junk shirt that'll last you for 2 or 3 washings and maybe a month is not an absolute obvious designed in obsolescence where you want the shirt to go bad so they come buy another one. Yeah. The idea of using plastic parts instead of the various fibers and light metals that they can use, which are stronger because plastic is cheap and it's quick and it's known it's going to break, and you're going to have to replace it. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, so you got to understand, folks. There's an awful lot to what I have to say, and I have to keep these videos down to like 15 minutes to fit on YouTube. So I can't go into real long discussions of this stuff. I mean, think how long it would take. It's taking a long time just trying to tell you about this stuff. So, but just as anything else, because I've done so much and because I incorporate everything into the basket, I don't care if it's fake news. Put it in the basket. I'll look at the fake news. I'm not afraid, like Donald Trump, of truth or falsehoods. I'll face the falsehood, look at it, and who knows, maybe like most inventors, I'll realize, oh, that's fake, but if I twist this dial that way, wow, I can make something out of it and make it real. Yeah, big difference. Thinking.